Okay, so we are recording this session. So we are asking that during the time that we are together this evening, if you will go ahead and mute your microphone. I think I've already done that for everybody. We'll use the chat feature just to kind of communicate here and there, tell us who you are and what campus your child attends. But then we're also going to use the Q&A feature. If you hover over the bottom to where that little bar comes up with all the options, there's a Q&A, and I have Danielle Duarte, who is our leadership president, will be monitoring the Q&A and helping me with that later in this session. So we'll do the Q&A piece at the end. Okay. And I've got two different computers that I'm running here, so if I look like I'm lost a little bit, I might be. So my name is Michelle Swain. I am the Director of Advanced Academic Services for Round Rock ISD. I have been with the district since 2004, and I love working with all of our college credit and high school opportunities, all of our college readiness opportunities, our college readiness assessments. It's just a really fun and exciting time in a student's life. I also oversee gifted and talented and enrichment programming. We've got coordinators that do the direct work with those two programs. I'm very fortunate to have great people in those seats as well. So tonight we're going to be talking about college credit in high school. Specifically, what are the different types? What are the things that your student is going to need to know, you're going to need to know? So the presentation objectives are, by the end of this presentation, you will be able to explain the benefits of taking advanced courses and understand the differences between the various offerings that we provide in our school district. So we're going to start with the overview of the benefits, and then we're going to talk specifically about each of the different types of college credit and high school course options and opportunities that we have in our district. One of the great resources that is provided to us by the state is this graduation toolkit. So Texas Education Agency has put this out, and you see a link there. And then I'm going to go ahead. No, I'm not. I was going to drop it into the chat. I'll do that at the very end. I'll drop all of the links into the chat at the end so that you'll have it if you can't grab it from here. But this is a toolkit that has been put together by the state to give you lots of information about high school, the programming, the graduation requirements, what is an endorsement, what is a performance acknowledgement. And those are some things that I'm going to mention this evening, but I'm not going to go into great detail about. So if you want to know more information about specific graduation requirements, performance acknowledgements, and endorsements, this is a fabulous resource for you. Thank you, Danielle. She's amazing. So we have a pretty vast menu of advanced opportunities for our students. We're really proud to take advantage of lots of different programs that are out there. We offer quite a few high school credit courses in middle school. The benefit of taking those high school credit courses in middle school is that it does free up time in high school to take additional college credit coursework. So for example, not only do we have Algebra 1 and Geometry offered in the middle school for students, but we also have things like BIM, well, I think the name has changed, but CTE coursework that students can earn high school credit for. We have an art course that students can earn high school credit for. And we also have language courses, so Spanish or French or German, and even in some cases Chinese, where students can earn credit in middle school for high school coursework. And then we have what we are now calling advanced courses. These courses might have been known to you previously as pre-AP or pre-IB. The College Board has taken proprietary ownership over that name. And so we have chosen to go with the name advanced. And we've gone with that partially because advanced speaks to the rigor of the course and the content, as opposed to labeling the kind of student that might want to take advantage of an advanced course. So we really encourage all of our students to take advantage of the advanced courses that are available to them in their school. And we do have those across all of our high schools. We also have one advanced course in middle school that is the 8th grade U.S. history course, and that is to prepare students for the options that they have in the social sciences once they get to high school. Those opportunities in high school include College Board Advanced Placement, and we're going to talk about each of these in turn. It also includes International Baccalaureate Diploma Programming, the Dual Credit Program with ACC, and our dual enrollment programming with the University of Texas onramps. So again, let's go back and talk about that high school credit in middle school a little bit more. You're going to hear me say this multiple times throughout our time together this evening, but you need to plan ahead. You need to begin with the end in mind. And when you're talking about middle school planning, what courses do you want to be able to go further in, or maybe create more room in your high school schedule? Those are the areas that you might want to look at taking a high school course while in middle school in that area so that you can expand those options and opportunities in that high school four-year plan. So there's a lot of different ways that you can find out which courses are available. You can look at the middle school course catalog. There's a whole section on high school credit that's offered in middle school. You can also reach out to your high school counselor and talk to them. I know that our students, when they're planning their ninth grade year in the spring of 8th grade, they do work with the middle school and high school counselors to engage in that planning process. So you could talk to that high school counselor. And then always, the course catalog, as well as colleagues or neighbors, students can talk to their current teachers. There's a lot of different opportunities to get information about what is available in middle school. And then you need to understand that things change as you're going through the process. So you might do all of this planning as a sixth grader about this course or that course, and then there may be legislation that changes, and we're about to go into a legislative session. Graduation requirements may change. That has happened over the years. Health used to be a graduation requirement and was offered in middle school, and health is no longer a graduation requirement, so it is no longer offered in middle school. And then students' interests change. So I may be very, very passionate and think that when I start out, I want to be able to make room so I can take all these different science courses when I get to high school, double up on my science a couple of years. And then by the time I get to high school, my interests have changed and I'm more interested in engineering, or I'm more interested in business, or I have fallen in love with a fine art course and want to engage in some of that kind of work. So be aware that things change, but you do want to go into that middle school opportunity understanding what is available to you. And know that if you are an elementary parent right now, that you have the opportunity to take accelerated math as a sixth grader, your student does, and taking accelerated math as a sixth and seventh grader will put you in Algebra 1 as an eighth grader. So that allows you to go on and take more advanced math in the high school years. So that's an example of high school credit in middle school. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we do have advanced courses, these formerly known as pre-AP. The nice thing about changing them from pre-AP to advanced is that it really broadens the perspective of the students that are taking those courses. They no longer see themselves as preparing for just an AP class, but they are now preparing themselves for any advanced coursework that they choose to take advantage of during their high school experience. So it leads to a lot of different advanced academic opportunities. These courses are typically offered in the 9th and 10th grade, and they are intended to provide both challenge and rigor. So it covers the same content as the on-level coursework, but it will do so with greater depth and complexity. They may engage in more reading, they may engage in more dialogue with their peers, more projects. It's designed to develop that academic muscle so that when they get into those advanced course opportunities, they have developed the skill set and the knowledge base to be successful in those college credit courses. Teachers may differentiate content, process, and product. So what the student learns about, what different ways the student processes that information, as well as how that student demonstrates their knowledge and understanding of the content. It may also be different in terms of depth and complexity, so how many different details they go into, what kinds of topics they may delve a little bit more deeply into, some of the connections they make across content and with other subject areas, as well as pacing. Instruction in our advanced courses may move a little bit more quickly. There may be a little bit more of an expectation there. One of the nice things about advanced courses is that students are able to engage in coursework with a set of peers that they can identify with in terms of their desire to really learn more about the content area and to flex that academic muscle. So we see students from all student groups come into these advanced courses and really feel at home because they are now sitting in classrooms with kids who really have a passion for the content or a passion for the learning. So then we come to our college credit opportunities. And when we're looking at our college credit opportunities, each of them is unique in its own way. They all have different nuances. And so that's why we're going to go into each one of these opportunities separately and individually so that I can kind of talk through all of the information and be really clarifying on what the benefits and what the considerations are for each one. So we're going to talk about College Board Advanced Placement. We're going to talk about the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. We're going to talk about dual credit, which in our district is with ACC, Austin Community College. We're also going to talk about early college high school, which is a type of dual credit. And then we're going to talk about a dual enrollment program that Round Rock ISD partners with UT to deliver, which is called onramps. So why would a student want to take advantage of these college credit options? Well, we've been doing some different forums with students just to kind of get their voice and to get their feel for what they are interested in and what they are passionate about and why they've engaged in these advanced course opportunities. And so you can see everything from I've done AP and dual credit classes over the past 3 years in mainly history and English. I think history and English is something that's very usual in real life and will make me feel more well-rounded for whatever field I go into. I'm taking AP Environmental Science because I want to go into environmental studies in college. So sometimes it's more about what their college passion is as opposed to getting that credit and getting that out of the way. I took AP Bio and on-ramps English last year. I took Bio so that I would be more prepared for nursing courses, but took on-ramps so that I could get a feel for English courses in college. So there's lots of different reasons and rationales that our students take advantage of it. But as parents, there are reasons that we want our kids to take these classes above and beyond those particular ones that those students shared. One of them is that they do carry the potential to earn college credit for students, and that saves us tuition, books, fees, all of those expenses. I have a college junior and I have a high school senior, and I am very excited to see the amount of money that it is going to save us and them to have these college credits already kind of in their repertoire on their transcript as they're going off to school. All of these courses do represent an increased rigor. They contribute to strength of schedule. So when you are filling out your college applications and the admissions officers are looking at what kinds of courses, they certainly want to see that you have taken challenging courses, that you have pushed yourself as a student, that you have not taken the easy route all the way through. But they also don't want to see that you've overloaded yourself. It is much better to take 1 or 2 of these advanced courses and make an A or B than to take 4 or 5 of them and make C's. So parents, you need to know your student and know what they can handle. Students, you need to know what your limits are. Certainly take all of the courses that you feel you can handle and that you feel that you are interested in, but there's no reason to overload your schedule with too many of them. They do contribute to GPA. They are most of them are considered weighted and contribute to rank in class and GPA. You'll need to look at the course catalog. There are little asterisks and carets and things in the course catalog that will let you know which courses are counted in GPA and which courses are counted for rank in class if you are looking at navigating that. And then another benefit to these courses, besides saving money and being a little bit more challenging, is that they can count as advanced courses for endorsements, and they can earn students performance acknowledgments. And again, if you are interested in learning more about what each of those really is, you can look at that document that I shared at the very beginning of the hour with you. And as you can see, Danielle linked in the chat. So we encourage students to take advantage of these options, again, because of those performance acknowledgments. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about that, and then you can see the toolkit for more information. But if a student takes a College Board Advanced Placement exam, which they are able to do at the end of the course, and they score a 3 or above on a 5-point scale, that will count as a performance acknowledgement. If they are taking an IB course and they score a 4 or above on an IB examination, that can count also as a performance acknowledgement. And then if a student gets at least 12 hours of college academic coursework, including those taken for dual credit, or as advanced technical credit courses, including those locally articulated courses, so CTE, with a 3.0 or higher on a scale of 4.0. So if they make a B or better, then that can also count as a performance acknowledgement. And just as a reminder, the course catalog is available online. If you go to the district website and go to the A to Z index and go to C, you can find course catalog, and it will give you the course catalog in English and in Spanish. So let's talk about College Board Advanced Placement. College Board Advanced Placement has been around a really long time, and I can say that because it was around when I was in high school. There were fewer course options available then, and they've really expanded it to include, I believe we're at 34 or 35 different course options now. But it started as a collaboration between high schools and colleges, recognizing that a lot of the first college courses that students take are repetitive with some of the last high school courses students take. So they aligned the content of those courses and have said that, you know what, if a student takes this course in high school and it maintains that rigorous college level curriculum and covers all of that content and has been vetted by college professors, then we will let them take a test at the end of the course to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding, and we will give them credit for that associated college course at our college or university. So during this process of engaging in this rigorous college level coursework, students are developing those college level skills, the ability to collaborate with their peers, the ability to read long texts deeply, the ability to study for very rigorous long exams. All of those kinds of things. Also, and one of the most important is the ability to engage in study groups and to learn how to navigate a study group so that that can help them work with their peers to master content and study for exams and work on projects just like they would if they were in college. There is the potential for college credit earned through the AP exam, which is taken at the end of the year. Every May, there's a schedule of AP exams, and students take those tests in May, and then they get the results in typically July that will let them know how well they did. And then they also, through taking these courses on the high school side, they get extra points for their GPA for most of the core courses. There are a few elective courses, art history, music theory, some of those that do not count, but again, that is all in the course catalog. So again, there's a menu of over 30 courses, and it's offered across a wide variety of subject areas. So English, math, social studies, languages, the sciences, art, music, etc. We also have a program called AP Capstone that I'll talk about in a little bit, where they're going to be able to engage in seminar and research work. Our advanced placement courses are open enrollment, so you don't have to have taken an advanced course ever before you sign up for a College Board advanced placement course. We do recommend that you look at the course and really be interested in the content and willing to engage in the work. But if you are willing to do that, then those courses are open to you. Emphasis in those courses is on critical and creative thinking as well as productive thinking. So students are doing a lot of deep study. It used to be, and some of you may have had older children who have gone through AP courses, they used to be very focused on kind of a mile wide and an inch deep. There was a lot of memorization. They've changed things up over the last few years, and it's far more conceptual. They're engaging in more conceptual learning than they are just memorizing facts. And again, a score of 3 or higher on an end of the year exam earns college credit at most colleges and universities. In the state of Texas, you are guaranteed to get credit at a state college or university. So that's one of the nice things about being in Texas, is that it is legislated that a public college or university has to give you credit for at least 3 or higher. If you are interested in learning more about those credit policies, if you will just Google AP credit policy, it should bring up the College Board website that you can go to look at which courses are given what credit at different colleges and universities across the nation. Here are some of the course offerings that our district offers. These may not be offered at every single high school, but most of them are, especially the core. So for example, if you're interested in AP Biology, AP English Language, AP European History, AP Chemistry, all of these are typically offered across all of our campuses. There are a few courses that are only offered at certain campuses, like AP Seminar and Research, so you would want to make sure that you look at what your campus has on their course sheets as you're making your plans for what courses you want to take. I mentioned earlier the AP Capstone Program, Seminar and Research courses. This is a new program from College Board. It's only been out for a few years. We are in our 3rd year of offering it. We currently offer it at Cedar Ridge, McNeil, and Round Rock High Schools because those are the campuses that do not currently have IB diploma programs. And what the capstone program is 2 courses that students will take in subsequent years. So year 1 and year 2, whether the year 1 is sophomore or junior, doesn't really matter. But whenever they have taken the seminar course, then sometime after that, they would take the research course either as a junior or a senior. And you can see the seminar course involves a team project and presentation, individual research-based essay and a presentation, and an end of course exam. And then the next year, they would take the AP Research course where they create an independent research project that results in an academic paper and a presentation and oral defense. If they stop there and only do those 2 components, then they would earn the AP Seminar and Research certificate, assuming that they successfully complete both of those courses with a 3 or higher. If they go on at any point in their high school career and accumulate 4 other AP courses and exams with at least a 3 or higher, then they would graduate with the AP Capstone Diploma. And that diploma is starting to be more and more recognized at colleges and universities. There's a lot of schools that will provide automatic admission to students who are taking or who have graduated with the AP Capstone Diploma into their honors program. So it's a neat opportunity for our students to engage in that in-depth research and to have something that they can speak to in scholarship interviews, in college application interviews. It really does give them a little bit of a leg up. Please also make sure that you are monitoring the chat because my other coworkers are putting lots of information in there to help support the information that I'm providing you in the presentation. So lots of links and details. Some of the things that we do to support our AP program, we have AP Potential, which is a tool that is generated from the AP or from the PSAT testing that our sophomores and juniors do, as well as our eighth graders. And that PSAT AP Potential tool tells us that based on a student's PSAT performance, they have a high likelihood of being successful in particular AP courses. So we use that as a recruiting tool to pull students into courses. Certainly, if AP Potential doesn't indicate a high probability of success, that does not mean we are going to preclude a student from taking a particular AP course, but it's a way that we can reach out to students and say, hey, you might do really well in AP Psychology. It says so right here. So why don't you think about adding that somewhere in your four-year plan? We also provide a lot of teacher supports, so summer institutes and workshops so that our teachers are constantly learning new information and new techniques for working with students. They also have an online community that they can reach out to their peers, and we do provide textbooks and other resources for our AP classrooms that are college level textbooks and that are created either specifically for advanced placement courses or specifically for college course work out in the colleges and universities. The teachers do have to go through an AP audit process that verifies that the course meets standards that are set forth by the College Board. And then for student supports, in a typical year, our campuses will offer things like AP Saturdays, where students come up on a Saturday and maybe review information or go over information for a test or take a mock exam. There may be AP camps where they do similar activities, smaller AP study sessions that they may offer after school or on a weekend. Those are happening in the virtual space right now. I don't know how each of the campuses is going to use the tools we have available to us to have those virtually this spring, or if they're going to have them face to face. So be paying attention to, if you're already in an AP course, be paying attention to what the teachers put out about those opportunities, because kids really do say that those help them on the exams. And then there's also AP Scholar recognition. So students who earn a certain score on a certain number of exams, there's different levels of scholar recognition, and they get a certificate, and they can put that on their resume, and that looks really good as they are applying to colleges. So here are the different, I forgot I had this slide in here. Here are the different levels. So AP Scholar with Honor, Scholar with Distinction, State Scholar, and National Scholar. And so you can see that it starts with a 3 or higher on 3 or more exams, and then it gets a little bit more rigorous going forward from that. So some considerations, again, students can choose as few or as many as they want based on their schedule, their interests, their goals. And it's really important to focus on their interests and passions, things that they are going to really be engaged in, and to not overschedule. There's nothing that says they have to take 8 advanced courses in a semester. Again, if students do not perform well on the exam, don't get that 3 or higher, they may not receive college credit, but there are also other opportunities like the CLEP test that you could engage with to get that credit if they don't receive it through the AP exam. It does contribute to the strength of schedule in college admissions. Colleges are going to want to see that students have gone above the minimum and taken at least a few advanced courses during their time. They have changed, again, if you have older children, they have changed in the last 2 years the way that you register for and pay for the exams. So it used to be that we did it all in the spring. Now we have fall exam registration and fall exam payment. So if you are working towards that in the next few years, you're going to want to be aware that that fee is going to be due in the fall semester, typically by late September, if not early October. And it was running about $95 to $100 right now. It changes a little bit. There are fee reductions and fee waivers for students who are eligible for the free and reduced lunch program. So that is a really nice feature as well. But again, you need to begin with the end in mind, and I did put the AP Credit Policy Search link in here. So when this presentation is posted, that link will be available. So rather than take questions on each individual program, I'm going to hold off and answer questions at the very end. So I see we've got a couple of questions going into the Q&A, so keep them coming, and we will get to those, I promise, at the end. But we're going to go ahead now and talk about the IB diploma program. This has been in the district since 1996. It was started at Westwood and then expanded to include Stony Point. So those two campuses are where we house this 2-year rigorous comprehensive program. If you are a student currently slated to go to Stony Point, Cedar Ridge, or Round Rock, then you would go to the program at Stony Point High School. If you are currently at McNeil or Westwood, then you would participate in the Westwood IB program. And again, this is a 2-year program. It is based on international standards in 6 subject areas. So whereas AP is kind of a pick and choose which areas you like, IB is more comprehensive. It has all 6 of those areas that you will take advanced coursework in, and I'll show you what those areas are in a moment. At grades 9 and 10, you're going to engage in college preparatory coursework, either pre-IB work or advanced level work. And then in 11 and 12, that's when you do the college level coursework. It does provide internationally accepted qualification for entry into higher education. It's recognized both around the United States as well as internationally. And so if you are interested in going to school overseas or in another country, this might be a program that you are interested in. It does also give students a leg up when they're applying for honors programs at colleges, just like the AP Capstone program. So this is kind of a visual of what this looks like, and you can go to the diploma program site to really dive more deeply into all of these various components. But you see around the outside is the IB diploma program with international mindedness as kind of the hub that holds it all together. And then the next layer in, you can see the 6 different subject areas, the individuals and societies, which is our social sciences, language and literature, which is going to be your English courses, language acquisition, which would be your second language or your world language, and then sciences, arts, and mathematics. If you continue to travel inside, you see the theory of knowledge course, the up to 4,000 word extended essay, and creativity, action, and service. So those are all a part of the IB diploma program. Students have to engage with each of those in a successful way. And then there's approaches to teaching on the teacher side and approaches to learning on the student side. So a lot of metacognition goes into the work in the IB program. And then at the center of it all, you have the IB learner profile. And so all of this comes together to create the IB program. There are lots of informational videos, more information than we have time to talk about here. So I'm going to just kind of help you think in terms of what are the big pieces. International mindedness, the students not only develop an awareness of their own cultural identity, but they also get the opportunity to explore a variety of points of view from all over the globe. So for example, if they're studying US history, they're not just looking at it from the United States side of things, they're looking at it from the French, from the English. What did the Brits think about these little upstarts over in America? So getting that really well-rounded perspective of things. It celebrates what we have in common, but it also challenges students to look at where are they in the world in responsibilities to local and global communities. So what is my responsibility as a member of the Round Rock ISD learning community? What is my responsibility as a member of the Texas community? What is my responsibility as a member of the United States, as a member of the global community? So they really get to look at it in a lot of different lights. And then the emphasis on academic rigor is definitely there. Lots of critical thinking and analysis. They're really engaging in Socratic seminar. They're engaging in a lot of deep dialogue with their peers, again, looking at things in a lot of different ways. There's also a lot of variety in the assessment, whereas in AP, you are being given a test at the end of the course that will determine whether or not you get college credit. With IB, there is a criterion referenced assessment all along the way. So it's based on international standards of excellence, and it is moderated both internally and externally, which means not only does their teacher grade it, but it's also sent all over the world to be graded by other IB educators who have been trained to do that work. So it's not so much of an all your eggs in that one test at the end of the semester or at the end of the year basket. It's more about how your performance is across time in each of those 6 courses. So why might a student choose IB? It has a lot of emphasis with metacognition and learning how to learn, learning how to analyze, so those college level skills. It helps students with development of study skills, time management skills, and organization skills. So they have a lot going on, so they really have to engage deeply with those skills to be able to make it all work. It's also recognized by most of the colleges and universities. And there is, I believe, in a later slide, I have a link to where you can find that information. But in the state of Texas, again, just like we have the legislation that tells us we get credit for a 3 or higher on an AP exam, students who graduate with the IB diploma in the state of Texas and go to a public college or university are guaranteed 24 hours of college credit minimum. Oftentimes they earn way more than that. It also can earn extra points for GPA as if it's in the core or if it's in languages. And again, you've got a motivated peer group and a supportive learning community. Those kids go through almost all of their classes together because it is a smaller learning community within the comprehensive high school, so they really form deep bonds. Some considerations. This is a rigorous program across multiple disciplines, so you're going to be expected to perform at a high level across lots of different areas. So if you are really strong in math and science, but not quite as strong in language arts and social studies, you're going to have to really think about if you are willing to challenge yourself in that way. But there's lots and lots of support. There are IB student organizations and IB parent booster clubs at both of our high schools, and it continues to gain that recognition at colleges and universities and gives you automatic admission to some school programs. So whether it be a humanities program or an honors program, so definitely as you're looking at colleges and universities that you're interested in, if you think you might want to do the IB program, those are some questions to ask. Again, the exam registration and fees are in the fall. They take place before the winter break. And again, begin with the end in mind. So this particular link is to a blog about college acceptance of IB credit. So they've kind of interviewed and researched and pulled all of this information together and can share with you through that blog. If you are interested in going to a particular college or university, what do we know about them right now as far as their acceptance? It doesn't mean that if a college that you're interested in is not on that list that they don't accept it. They just might not have made it onto that particular blog yet. So I would still encourage you to reach out to that particular college or university. So moving on to dual enrollment, this is our newest opportunity, UT OnRamps. We've been doing this now for, I guess, about 5 years. It is a program that was created at the University of Texas as an on-ramp for students to college level coursework that was a little bit more lower risk and a little bit more accessible to more students. So students engaged in UT OnRamps courses are co-enrolled in a high school course and a college course simultaneously. They have 2 separate teachers, a high school teacher and a college professor, and they earn 2 separate grades, a high school grade and a college grade. And a lot of times those high school grades do not match what the college grades are, because the high school grade does count all of the daily grades, all of the smaller projects, the smaller quizzes, whereas the college grade only counts the major course exams or major course projects. So we're going to watch a little video real quick, and I'm going to have to exit. I tried playing with this earlier and it did not want to play from here, so I pulled it up, and I remember I have to turn the volume up here and mute myself over here. Okay, I'm hearing you say that there is no sound. So let's try this again. I was trying to avoid having an echo, but let's see.
Mainly positive.
Is that, can you hear it now? Okay, thank you.
For me as a teacher, I've loved fostering the discussions that we've had in class based on the content that's provided, as well as the platform. So the on-ramps course is supposed to be based off a college course. So through taking this course, I feel that I've learned a lot more about what college is actually about. It's a very enriching experience to go through this. It's difficult without being too difficult. It does press you to think and try new things, and it's a really great experience to have for just any high schooler so they can broaden and expand their horizons. Specifically, on-ramps is helping them understand the expectations. Students get an idea that the work they put in outside of class time or in the discussions that we have in actual class pay off.
At first, when we were given explorations, I didn't really understand what they were asking, and I was confused because a lot of the questions are concept based instead of just like giving you the formulas and telling you like this is how you plug it in.
I think it's really rewarding for them as well. They see themselves learning, they see the progress that they're making, and they see themselves meeting those learning outcomes, and I think they feel very proud of themselves.
It's definitely improved my problem solving skills. It's not just one answer, it like forces you to think of different ways to solve a question.
And then, you know, college credit too, so that was like a plus.
This is a college experience for them without the big bucks, without being away from family. And so they still have all the support of high school and all the support of family. This has really helped me learn how to do that type of studying on my own and do that type of exploration, like inquiry-based, like learning on my own and with my classmates, and not always rely on a professor or a teacher. I think is going to be very helpful in college, and I feel really prepared for that aspect of it.
Right now, if my kids continue working the way that they're working, I'm going to have 5 to 10 times more students getting credit at a college level, and I think that makes me feel good, that makes me feel rewarded, and then also the kids are like, yep, that's it, that's what we're here for, we're here to get college credit, and this is the program that does it.
I remember the 2-week training we had here at UT was very overwhelming. It was very intense. There was so much information.
It was incredible, both from the content perspective. I learned a lot of new things about the field, but also just from the pedagogy and learning some different ways that I can teach both in that class as well as in my other courses that I teach at the high school.
I think it has, number one, made me a better teacher overall. I really believe in the program. It's helping me better understand the content so that I become a better teacher. And I have a leadership role on my campus, which then in turn I feel like will help make the whole math department stronger.
I think it's been a great experience for my students, for my kids, and for me also. Just it's pushing me up as well.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close that and then go back to the presentation. So I feel like it's great to hear from the teachers and the students. I think that they really do a great job of explaining what it is and how it works. But here I'll do my best to kind of elaborate on that. So right now, these are the courses that they have identified, and they build new courses every few years. We are begging them to please get government and economics. But right now they've got a really great geoscience class. It's called Earth, Wind, and Fire. They've got physics, and by the way, the physics course is probably the most successful course. Students who take that course earn a ton of college credit. I mean, they percentage-wise, those students are really successful. Um, Other science options, math options, and you see algebra on there. And so students, that typically is equated to the Algebra 2 course. So students can be taking on-ramps courses as early as, in some cases, their freshman or sophomore year. A lot of kids have been taking the pre-calculus and the stats courses. So lots of opportunities for students across all subject areas. One of the courses that is newer in our district. History is also being very, very successful, as well as the ELA courses, the rhetoric courses. So options for all different kinds of students that are interested in this opportunity. So some of the key benefits, these are designed by university faculty, and as you saw in the video, those teachers that are co-teaching with these university faculty have extensive training that they go through in the summer. They qualify to participate through rigorous college level coursework, but they don't have to do that before the course starts. So we'll talk in a moment about the dual credit requirement for TSI, the Texas Success Initiative. They do not have to meet that initiative standard before they take an on-ramps course. They can do that during the process of taking the on-ramps course through their college level coursework and the college ready standards that are set by the university. Um, our high school teacher offers our courses, and they again receive that extensive training, but they're there for the students. It's not a 500 student class or where they don't have somebody to talk to. So they provide that extra layer of support, and they are all offered as part of UT's core curriculum. So they are guaranteed to transfer to any other public college or university in the state of Texas or outside of the state of Texas. So just like if you had taken your first year at the University of Texas and then were transferring to another school, it's the same kind of transferability. So here's a visual to kind of help you, and I've got the link there as well to the OnRamps website. But you don't ever see those two lines cross. So the high school teacher is teaching the high school class for the high school grade, and then that's going to be what shows up on their high school transcript. At the same time, the college professor is providing the assessments where the college grade will be based on, and that will show up on the college transcript. The neat thing about this is not only do students not have to meet TSI prior to starting the course, but if at the end of the course the student has been successful in the high school course but not in the college side of the course, they can choose to, let's say they got a D, they can choose to deny that, and it doesn't show up on a college transcript at all. So there's a lot of safety nets built into the on-ramps opportunity for our students. So again, they're enrolled in that year-long course, or if it's rhetoric and history, those are each 2 single semester courses. If it's a year-long course, those students complete a series of required assignments. And once they have completed those assignments successfully and earned that grade that would be equivalent to what they would earn if they were sitting in a UT Austin class, then they are eligible to be dually enrolled in the university side of the course offered during the spring semester. And then that spring semester, if it's the full year course and not a semester course, they continue to complete those required assignments, and that determines their successful completion of the college course. But meanwhile, the high school teacher will separately award credit on the high school side. So again, for example, one of my daughters took an on-ramps course, was really successful in it and earned college credit. Another one of my daughters took an on-ramps course, got the high school side, but had test anxiety and did not perform well on those exams, and so did not get the college credit. But when she went and took the associated course in college, she really did really well because she was already exposed to that level of rigor and that level of information. One of the things that you will want to understand about the on-ramps courses is the pedagogy is a little different, and they are taught more in a discovery method. So the students are presented with problems and have to navigate those a little bit on their own or in small groups. It's not so much that they are spoon feeding the information to the students or that they are teaching in a didactic manner. They're expecting the students to really engage with the content and to make meaning of the content themselves. So again, students can pass, if you're considering whether or not to take an on-ramps course, students can pass the high school class and not the college class, so they still satisfy the high school graduation requirements, even if they don't earn the college credit. They don't have to meet the TSI prior to the course. The credit is highly transferable. It is a high school teacher that is part of the AB schedule at our high schools. So they fall within that schedule. When we talk about dual credit in a moment, we'll talk about why that's different from dual credit. And then the high school grade is weighted and counted for class rank. So it counts for GPA and rank in class. There is an associated fee. So just like AP, you have the test exam fee, IB, you have the test exam fees. With on-ramps, you have a fee that is an inclusive cost. Right now, it stands at I believe it is $149 a semester course, or $149 for a full year course. So English and history, those are two single semester courses, so that would be $149 for each semester. Chemistry is a full year course, so that would be $149 for the full year. That's an inclusive cost of all of the assessments, all of the materials. It includes the technology resources and all of their textbook materials, because they do have all of their courses in the Canvas program platform online through UT. So now let's talk about our fourth option, dual credit. Dual credit has been around for quite some time. It's college courses that also count towards high school requirements. It must be on the approved high school list. The approved high school list is both in the course catalog every year and listed under the dual credit heading in our A to Z index in the district website. We partner with ACC and with UT Permian Basin. UT Permian Basin offers online courses. Those courses are a little more expensive. They're $300. The dual credit opportunities with ACC are free. To take advantage of those, students must meet the TSI requirements. And I believe that Danielle put that link in the chat for you, but just for a real quick overview. For colleges, it's an SAT of 1070 or above and the minimum of 500 in each of the sections. For ACT, it's a composite score of 23 or above and the minimum of 19 on each of those two subtests, or successful performance on the TSIA, the TSI assessment. But for our high school students, so like our current sophomores, freshmen, juniors, they will take the PSAT and they can qualify as TSI eligible for dual credit coursework through that work if they get a 460 in English or a 510 in math. So the students must have met the TSI requirements, but they can begin taking these courses as early as their freshman year. Obviously, prerequisites apply. You can't take the equivalent of English 3 until you have taken English 1 and 2, so they can't come in their freshman year and take a dual credit English course, but there are other courses that they could take advantage of. There is no limit on the number of courses students may take. The first 12 courses, not the first 12 hours, the first 12 courses are free of charge because Round Rock ISD is entirely within the ACC taxing district. Courses may be offered at any point in time, before or after school or during the school day on the high school campus, as well as online or at the community college and in the summer. And so we see students taking them year round. One of the benefits is that we do offer them during our school day embedded into our schedule. But when they are embedded into our schedule, unless it's one of our teachers who is also an ACC adjunct, those courses are going to fall on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. So students typically will need to either take 2 dual credit classes or they'll need to have an off block opposite of the dual credit class they took. And I see a quick question about the PSAT 8-9 scores. Those scores do not qualify students for dual credit. So if you are wanting to take a dual credit course as early as the freshman year, you would have to take the TSI assessment. You would not be able to qualify with your 8th grade PSAT score. The community college transcript is submitted to the district before high school graduation for us to document their credit, but we do get grade reports every semester, and that is documented in our system so that our counselors know that a student took U.S. history over the summer at ACC and does not need to take that their junior year, or that they have already taken a psychology course, or they've taken their composition 1 and 2 courses that count for English 3. Then we have a special mode of dual credit called early college high school. And with early college high school, our students who choose that route do get the opportunity to then earn up to 60 college credit hours and their associate's degree. And often they will graduate with their associate's degree a week or two before they actually walk for their high school graduation. So as you're thinking about these dual credit programs, some of the considerations that you might want to mull over. It is immediate credit earned. So as soon as they pass that dual credit course, they have earned credit in that course. They don't have to depend on a single test. Test anxiety, therefore, is less of an issue. So if you have a student who does have a lot of test anxiety, dual credit might be a better option for you. Something to think about is that the college professors are not as likely to differentiate. They tend to have a little bit more of a one-size-fits-all approach to teaching and learning. So if you have a student who is identified for gifted services, or a student who really likes to have teachers that modify the learning experience for the different kinds of learners in their classroom, that might not be happening in the dual credit classrooms. You do have to pass the college course to earn the high school credit. And one of the tricky parts about that is, whereas with on-ramps, if you don't pass the college side, you still get the high school credit if you pass the high school side. With dual credit, it's kind of all or nothing. So if you take if you take a dual credit U.S. history course and you don't earn credit for that, then you have to either take the high school history course, or you would have to engage in credit recovery to recover that credit for graduation. Dual credit may or may not be accepted at private schools or out-of-state institutions. So again, you will want to begin with the end in mind and make sure that you know before you go. So if you're thinking about going to Baylor, or if you're thinking about going to the University of Alabama, you might want to contact those colleges or universities to say, what is your dual credit policy? Dual credit is becoming more accepted at colleges and universities, as are all of the different options, but you still want to make sure as you're planning your route that you've considered that. This next one is a really big issue for some parents. FERPA is basically the a Protection Act for students' privacy in terms of their educational records. And so basically, once a student is in an ACC class or in a UTPB class, the professor will not talk to the parents, and does not have to, is not required to. So if you want to check up on how Susie is doing in that class, they're not going to tell you. You don't have a home access center to check up. You're really depending upon your child to tell you how they're doing and to be honest about how they're doing in that class. So if you have a student that all through middle school you really had to keep an eye on their home access center and stay on top of them, you might think twice and have a real in-depth conversation with them about whether dual credit is for them, because you will not be able to monitor and support them in that way. There is a textbook cost for ACC. So typically, the courses are trying to use more open educational resources that are available for free out in the world. But some courses do still have a textbook, and students would have to pay for that. If it's in the summer and they're going to ACC at a site, an ACC site, they might need to get a parking permit. But otherwise, those ACC courses are free from all other tuition and fees. UTPB courses, UT Permian Basin courses, are about $300 per course, but that is all inclusive, and those courses again are online. So again, begin with the end in mind. Danielle has put both of those links into the chat for you. Those give you more information about the dual credit program at ACC, more information about TEA dual credit and what the requirements are and how that all works. And then I mentioned early college high school. So we do have an early college high school in Round Rock where students can earn up to 60 hours of college credit, which equates to their associate's degree. It is a smaller learning community. Each annual cohort is only 125 seats. So the whole school is 500 or fewer students. There's a ton of academic supports. They have school-wide AVID, so every student is an AVID student and has the opportunity to take advantage of the resources and supports that AVID provides, all of the study skills and habits and college readiness skills that are available through that program. There are no UIL activities, so if you are interested in playing football or you want to be in the band or orchestra or you want to be in theater or in dance or in volleyball, those options are really not available, but they do have clubs that they create and student organizations that they create. They have everything from Harry Potter clubs to running clubs to the Thespian Society. So you still can take advantage of some of those opportunities, just not the Friday night football and some of those kinds of things that you see with a more comprehensive high school. And we are very proud to say that the Round Rock ISD Early College High School is the most successful early college high school program in the entire ACC district system. So of all of the dozens of early college high schools around the area, our students are earning their college credit at a higher rate and having more success than their peers in other districts. So it's a bragging point for us. I wanted to make sure that you were aware of a resource that is available to you. This is a document that we have created, and this is just a snippet of the document. It's a side-by-side comparing the 4 different types of college credit and high school opportunities and some of the most frequently asked questions, from what is it to where is the course taught, what grade levels, who teaches the course, how do students enroll, how do I claim the credit. All of those answers are in this document, and you can get to that document through that bit.ly address, or you can also go to the district website, and I believe it is on the advanced academics site, but Danielle has put the bit.ly into the chat, so you'll be able to get through it through that mechanism as well. It's something that we've put together over the years to try to help parents and students navigate the nuances of these 4 different options. So as we transition to our Q&A, just a few reminders. All of these course opportunities offer academic challenge to our students. You want to always begin with the end in mind. Think about where you're interested in going. Think about what courses you might be more passionate about, what colleges and universities will and won't accept. One quick example of that, my younger daughter, who is a senior in high school, is going to go to Texas Tech and major in business. She was trying to decide which opportunity to take advantage of for economics and found out that it didn't matter because the College of Business at Texas Tech has their own economics course that they want you to take. So had she taken an advanced course in economics in high school, it would have just taken up an elective. So she chose not to do that. She's taken a lot of other advanced courses, but they all align to the degree plan that she's going to be engaged with at Tech. So again, begin with the end in mind. Do a little bit of that research. It's great for everybody to graduate high school with a little bit of college credit behind them. It saves thousands of dollars. Each college credit at a public college or university is running anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. Even at ACC, those courses are $85 an hour, so almost $300 savings if you're planning on going to ACC by taking it while you're still in high school. And the social emotional needs are met through being with like-minded peers. And that's not saying that these are a homogeneous type of students. It's just saying that the students that tend to take these courses are students who are excited about learning and who are wanting to get a leg up on college and wanting to save their families some money. So they are kind of in it to win it. They really want to be there and to engage with that content. So then the question that I have for you is, what will your students select off of the menu? And now we will engage in your questions for me. And I know that Laura has put that seminar link into the chat, but there it is again if you need that. And so Danielle, what questions do we have coming off of the Q&A? She's going to have to unmute herself. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Q&A and start working on some of these. So can I go over the difference in claiming credits for AP versus IB? So that really varies between each college or university. So you would have to look at their policy for what they expect. But typically you can just send the scores to those colleges or universities. So that's you look up their acceptance policy and they'll tell you how they want to receive those credits. Okay. Let's see, are the courses the same for AP versus IB or different? They are different. So they have different curriculum, they have different requirements, they are sequenced differently within the course, so they are very different. Once upon a time, it was possible to stack your AP and IB students in the same section. We do not do that anymore because both programs have changed dramatically and it just really wouldn't work. Are there accommodations for dyslexia in the IB and AP programs? Are IEPs honored in these programs? Well, the nice thing about IB and AP is that those are taught by our high school teachers, and so they are able to honor most of the things that are in the IEP. Certainly dyslexia accommodations are part of that. And then you can look on both College Board and International Baccalaureate. They have special education policies that they can say exactly what accommodations are approved for the exams. And so students apply for those accommodations, and then those accommodations are then honored on those various exams. Let's see, can I post the college acceptance and IB credit blog link in the Q&A? I believe that that was done in the chat. So if you will reference the chat, I think Danielle or Laura, one of them pulled it out and posted it there. But I think if you also just IB credit, that's how I found it as well. Which grade kids can enroll in on-ramps, and how is this done now due to COVID? So these courses are taught just like all of our other courses. They, even though there is a huge component of the on-ramps course that is delivered through the online portal with the UT, students log into Canvas and they're doing some of their college work through the Canvas. There are parts of it that are done, live and in person when they're in the classroom. Right now, however, the teachers are teaching, if they are switching classes and teaching live, or if they're doing it entirely remote, that's how those classes are being taught. As far as what grade level, really it depends on which courses and when students meet the prerequisite for those courses. So for example, Algebra 2, the on-ramps algebra course, which equates to Algebra 2, once a student has completed Algebra 1 and geometry successfully, then they can be in the on-ramps algebra course. Pre-cal, same thing. Once they've completed the prerequisites for pre-cal, they can take that course. Some of the other courses are a little bit different. Each course has its own prerequisites, but once a student has met those prerequisites, they can take advantage of being in one of those courses. Will these on-ramps classes count towards UT Austin GPA if they get admitted there? Yes, they will. They may, for example, the on-ramps chemistry course may count as chemistry for non-science majors as opposed to chemistry for science majors. So again, know before you go. They do have a a guide that will show you what the high school or what the high school course is, what the college course is at UT, and then what the common course numbering system has that course at. The common course numbering system is a system of really the first about 60 hours of college coursework. It's all the basic English and science and social sciences and kind of all of that stuff that you take before you really get into your major. And they've created a common course numbering system that all of the colleges and universities can equate their courses to, so that we kind of have a guide to say, okay, it's this course at this school and this course at this school. So you would look at that to see what course it's equivalent for at other colleges and universities, but UT tells you what course it is for their college. So it does definitely count if they get admitted there. Is on-ramps weighted differently than AP and IB? No, they are all weighted the same. AP, IB, and on-ramps are all weighted the same. But what I didn't mention, I don't believe, is that dual credit does not count at all for GPA or ranking class. So if a student is taking a dual credit course, it counts for the college transcript and it goes on the college transcript. Whatever grade they get, it goes on the college transcript, but it does not count at all on the high school GPA or ranking class. It will go on the high school transcript as a dual credit course, but it will not be factored into those other pieces. Are on-ramps courses offered during the summer? No, they are during the school year only. The only summer opportunity you really have would be through dual credit course options. How do we sign up for an 8th grader to take the PSAT? So all of our 8th graders in the district are able to take the PSAT 8-9 exam in January this year. And I actually had a meeting right before this with the testing coordinators, and the signups for that are going to go out when we return from winter break. So look for that the week of January 4th. That should come out and you can sign up your 8th grader. All of our 8th graders will be able to take it for free. Similarly, all of our sophomores will be able to take the PSAT and MSQT exam for free in January, and that sign up will be going out as well. Next question, if a student is thinking to pursue pre-med in college, would it be advised to take on-ramp science classes? They don't usually like to accept AP credits. Is it the same with on-ramps? Again, it really depends on the college or university, so I would contact the ones that you're interested in and ask. As I mentioned earlier in the chemistry example, a lot of the on-ramps courses are going to equate to the non-science course, and some of the pre-med and other science fields engineering might want you to take the science version, the for science majors version of the course. But remember that they're also just looking, did you take some hard courses while you were in high school? So it will still contribute to strength of schedule, even if they don't end up getting the college credit. They will be more prepared for the rigors of the college classroom by having taken some of these options and opportunities. Is an IB student able to join the AP clubs and groups? Well, there aren't any AP clubs or groups, so that's not necessarily applicable, but IB students are able to take AP classes, and I don't know that that's something that I really elaborated on. For example, my daughter is taking on-ramps courses, dual credit courses, and AP courses. She's not at a school that has IB, so she wasn't able to take any IB courses, but we have students at IB schools that take IB and on-ramps, or IB and AP, or IB, AP, and dual credit. So it really is a buffet that you can pick and choose what you want. The only restriction is with IB, you do have to take those 6 courses. So the only place you have room for those AP and dual credit courses would be in the freshman or sophomore year before you start that 2-year program, or as your 7th or 8th course in addition to those 6 courses. Do we have to request for accommodations to the College Board for dual credit on-ramps separately? So College Board, you do have to apply to those directly to College Board. With dual credit, you work through the SSD office at ACC. for those accommodations. And then for on-ramps, because it is with a high school teacher, you work with your high school teacher, and then they work with the college professor if anything needs to be further accommodated in that arena. So that's a really great question. So yeah, they are all separate. And then are they going to offer on-ramps next year? My son wanted to take on-ramps this year and they said that they weren't offering it. So what happened is some of the schools were trying to expand to more courses, offer more courses. Every school right now has an on-ramps, at least one on-ramps course, but they were expanding their offerings. And because we were not in school during that heavy recruitment time of spring break through the end of the year, a lot of those courses didn't make. So they have to have a certain number of students registered for those courses in order for those courses to make, and they just weren't able to get enough students in those courses. So definitely if your student is interested in a course, hopefully it will show up on their course schedule or course selection sheet, and they'll be able to take advantage of it. If there is a course that you don't see on that sheet, you might want to lobby with your campus administration and see if they are considering it in the future. Can someone enroll in the IB program having already enrolled in McNeil, or do they have to enroll in Westwood only? You have to be attending Westwood High School, whether you were slated for McNeil or Westwood, to participate in the IB program. So the supports and the classes are not available at McNeil. If you are a McNeil student already and you're in your freshman or sophomore year, you can transfer to Westwood. If you are a current middle school student, you can transfer to Westwood straight out of middle school to take advantage of being in the Westwood IB program. Same thing for students who are at Cedar Ridge or at Round Rock that want to do Stony Point's IB program. They would transfer straight out of 8th grade, or if they're already in 9th grade or 10th grade and want to participate in that, they would need to transfer before their junior year. Can a student start in one program and then realize it's not for them and switch to other programs? Absolutely. Dual credit AP and on-ramps are all a la carte programs. So you take one course at a time. It's not necessarily a package deal. So lots of kids will dabble here and there and try one style and try another style until they figure out what works best for them. There are courses in AP that start as early as the freshman year. There are courses in on-ramps, as we've discussed, that may start as early as the freshman year. And dual credit courses that may start as early as the freshman year. IB is the only program where you have to kind of be all in. So you make that commitment and you're in that program for your junior and your senior year. You can leave that program, but if you do, that kind of negates the opportunity to earn the IB diploma and to get all of that college credit. And then let's see, we've got a couple more. Are counselors available to help families and students decide which program is best for their situation? Yes, that is part of your one-on-one annual conference with your counselor. They are well equipped to answer all of those questions. We've provided them with the same side-by-side document, and we do provide them with training each year. We talk to them about the different options and opportunities. So that is definitely something that you can count on them to help support you with. But I would also do your own research, talk to your own colleges and universities that you're interested in. Have kids talk to each other too. They get a lot of really good information from their peers, but make sure they triangulate the data, because just one student who didn't like one teacher and gives that class a bad report, you don't necessarily want to go with just that one example. Do we need the recommendation from the high school teacher or counselor to sign up for on-ramps? No. All of our college readiness or all of our college credit opportunities are open enrollment. The only one that you have to qualify for is dual credit with the TSI. So any student who wants to take an on-ramps course is eligible to sign up and take that on-ramps course. And we encourage you to do that. My child is taking Gateway and BIM as an 8th grader for college credit. Is that part of any of these programs? That is actually part of our CTE program, which is our career and technical education. So those courses also earn students college credit, but in a different way. And so that is great that they're getting that. That's just adding to their resume of college credit opportunities that they're taking advantage of, but it is not an AP, IB, on-ramps, or dual credit program. When does the one-on-one conference happen? Each high school has its own schedule. I can tell you that they usually start with seniors because they want to make sure they've checked all the boxes and are ready for graduation, and then they'll work their way through the other classes. Typically, they try to get all of those done by around January, February, because that's when the course selection sheets start going out and when those decisions start being finalized. So if you haven't had yours yet, you can always reach out to your high school counselor and ask when those are going to happen for your grade level at your campus. And then another question, what was the requirement for AP and dual credit if they want to take their freshman year? So for AP, there are several courses. AP Computer Science Principles is one. AP Human Geography is another. Those are two that are typically offered to students as early as the freshman year. Some of the courses they have to actually meet the prerequisites for, so you wouldn't take AP Government as a freshman because that's typically a senior course, so you would want to wait until you're further along. You wouldn't take AP English Language your freshman year because that's equated to English 3, which is a junior course. So all of that is kind of explained in the course catalog, and you can see for each course what the prerequisites for that course are. But AP Human Geography is a great opportunity for them their freshman year. It's hard. It is challenging, but boy, you see them grow in their skill set from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And once they've taken that, they are really equipped to take just about any other advanced academics course they can imagine. And then it looks like this might be our last question, which is good because we're 5 minutes over. How many high school credits can a middle schooler earn during the course in middle school? It really depends. And you don't want to just take them to take them. You want to take them with the intent of really being purposeful. So if your child doesn't want to take BIM or Gateway, that might not be a course that they should take in middle school. If your child doesn't want to take Art 1 to get their fine art credit, they might not take that in middle school. But typically there's math courses, there's language courses, the art course, and the BIM course that I can think of right off the top of my head. Those are the courses that we currently have available to our middle schoolers. Okay, I think, oh, no, there's one more. If a student is wanting to pursue IB, are they able to take AP classes in 9th and 10th grade? Absolutely. They can take any other classes in 9th and 10th grade, and they can continue to take AP classes their junior and senior year if it works with their schedule and doesn't overlap with their IB courses. One thing to again be cautious of is that most colleges and universities will only accept a certain number of credits in. That's one of the reasons the associate degree is 60 hours. So you don't necessarily want to amass more than 60 hours before you go in. And also most colleges and universities, if you go in, no matter how many hours you have, they will still count you as a freshman your first year as far as all of the when to sign up for things and all of that, because they want you to be part of that freshman cohort and get that freshman experience. So I hope I have answered all of your questions. Oh, there's another one that popped up. Is this presentation, including the Q&A, being recorded? Yes, it is still being recorded, and I am going to, in a moment, stop the recording and allow it to save to the computer, and then we will have somebody who will edit it and post it on the website. I see one more question coming in on the chat. Are pre-IB courses different than pre-AP, or are they all the same now given the rebranding to advanced courses? Yes and no. There are some pre-IB courses that were separate courses that were preparatory for the IB program offered in the 9th and 10th grade at Stony Point and Westwood that didn't have anything to do with pre-AP, and those still remain as separate courses, but the majority of courses that previously were labeled pre-AP or pre-IB are now called advanced. Okay, I think, oh, no, there's one. Oh, you're welcome. Thought that might have been a question, but it was a thank you. So thank you all for being here, and good luck on your journey through navigating the high school experience with your child or children. It really is a fun ride. As somebody who is about to embark on the final semester of that ride, just really enjoy it, cherish the moments, and let your child be the guide. Um, let them choose what advanced courses they're going to take advantage of. You might nudge a little, but really let it be their choice, because I can tell you from experience, the times that I said you will take this advanced course versus why don't you think about taking this advanced course? Um, my girls didn't do as well when I told them they had to as when they chose it for themselves. So you know your family, you know your child, you know their nuances and their likes and dislikes, and what they're going to embrace and what they aren't. But that's just my little bit of advice and caution to you as you go forth with this journey. So thank you very much for being here this evening. And if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and start shutting things down so that we can save this. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.